Hi, it's Coach Paulette Kumar. How you doing this day? Today is another beautiful day, and I just wanted to bring to you some love and some light and some happiness and some joy into your hearts and your minds and your spirit, and to remind you about happiness today. And I know sometimes we find it a struggle in our stressful world to maintain happiness. But I wanted you to have this little bit of meditation or visualization or whatever you want to call it, just to take some time out to recall what it is that you have within you. Okay, so, it brings me great pleasure to be have the opportunity to just speak to you about happiness, and being able to maintain it is not something that you can do because of external forces, because your happiness is not something that you could get from thinking, oh, at the end of the rainbow it's going to be happy. But happiness comes from within, and from within, you have an internal source, a spiritual source. And for me, that spiritual source is God. And once you're in tune with that spiritual source, then you will have lots of happiness and joy and peace, even when other things around you are going crazy. Trying to get happiness from the car or a house or a job or wealth, those things are temporary. But the happiness that you can get from being in tune with your spiritual source, from within, that's what's going to keep you happy. Because when all those other things go, what will you have left? If even the person that you perceive makes you happy, if that person lets you down, because no one is 100% reliable. Everybody at some point will let you down. And that's why there's sometimes so many people who, when they go through a divorce or a partner splits, then they're just devastated. And that's because they've depended upon an individual to make themselves happy. But what you have to do is have happiness from within. Good morning, Selena, and everybody else that's putting those likes up. So your happiness comes from within, and that internal source. In order for you to be in touch with that internal source, you really have to take the time out to stop and to be in tune with it. We have a busy life, we have a busy society, and we have noise going around us all the time. But if you want to understand who you are and what makes you happy, then you need to take the time out to stop, to meditate, to think. Who am I? Where am I? What really makes me happy? For me, my happiness comes from being a child of God. It comes from knowing that I am loved. My happiness comes from the fact that I have a purpose and a plan in my life. So the happiness that you have can come from something more spiritual rather than depending upon things or upon people. One of the thoughts that I have is that I'm happy because I have not just God in my life, but breath that I'm being given. And I experience love, I experience joy, I experience peace. And you have to sometimes just strip away all the stuff. And when you've come down low, then perhaps then you can think about, what is it that really makes me happy? Because if you're not happy in your job, then it's because a job can't give you total 100% satisfaction. And what it is that you have to go within. So just take a moment or two just to think about who you are. Am I happy with who I am? And breathe into that. And it's okay to be happy with who you are. And it's okay to be not happy with who you are, because a lot of us are not happy with who we are. You'd find perhaps most people always striving to do and be better. But it's okay, because when you know that the internal source within is the one that will keep you happy and joyous, then you can hold on to that. Because the greater, for me, the word of God says, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. Greater, if you believe in something greater and bigger than yourself, then you can hold on to something that is going to help you to be happy and joyous, because you know that you haven't got to rely upon yourself, because even you sometimes let you down. But if you have a source that is fulfilled with joy and peace and love, you can hold on to that happiness within that. So just take a moment just to meditate on that word today. My happiness comes from a source bigger and higher than myself. My happiness comes from a source bigger and higher than myself. And in that source, I have joy and peace and happiness. And if you want to, you can just bring your eyes down for a little bit. Or just close your eyes and just feel joy and peace from within. My happiness comes from a source bigger than myself. My happiness comes from within. When you allow the source to get in, my source is God. You allow that into your heart, that source of love and joy and peace. And you don't have to rely upon external forces or even yourself. Joy from within. What a beautiful way to start your day, with love and joy and peace. My happiness comes from a source bigger than myself. Don't have to rely upon external sources such as wealth, home, or other people. My source is a spiritual source that never dies, that never goes, that never judges, but is always there with joy and peace and happiness. Would you take that into your day-to-day? That your source is bigger than yourself, and your source is within if you stay in tune with what's going on inside of you. Tap into that spiritual source from within, and you maintain your joy, your peace, and your happiness. This is Coach Paulette Kumar, and I'm signing out now. I'm going to do my other little bits with my family now, our time of devotion. And then I'll be online a little bit later on doing some stretches, because it's about mind, body and spirit. So you've been tuned with your spirit. Next we're going to do body, and then your mind. Well, I'm sure you'll have lots of activities today to occupy your mind. God bless you. Take it easy. Thanks Shauna, thanks Selena and everybody else that joined me today. Remember, your source of happiness comes from within. Your source of happiness comes from the spirit that is within you, and that spirit is connected with God Almighty. Bye for now.